Something I see as incredibly lacking and on a definite downtrend these days is self-help. Ironically enough, we live in an era where you have, Google is at your fingertips, Bing is at your fingertips, DuckDuckGo. You can go and you can do research on any given topic and literally access top tier professional opinion and all kinds of content and resources and information on just about anything you want, particularly tech topics, right? Stuff that's relevant to our industry, relevant to website technologies and programming, and relevant to marketing and advertising and sales and all this stuff. It's all right there at your fingertips, right there on the web. And literally just you type on the keyboard, it's just sitting there, and up comes information, and you just use your little hand and click with your finger, and you get this information delivered to you. And mostly it's even in video format. It's so easy. It is the most lazy, format ever, right? It's so simple to do this. And yet people get lost and they don't do this stuff. I don't know why, but I see it as a definite trend. And I see it as a trend as a trainer that people are becoming so, they're losing their own self-reliance. They're becoming lost. They're becoming people who just want information fed to them, bottle fed to them. They don't want to do any work whatsoever. And it's tragic because those people will invariably fail. Now, it's good for us, the people that still have a modicum of self-motivation, because we're going to make a lot of money, because they're going to all fail and we're going to reap the rewards of their ignorance and laziness. But it's something that I don't think is excusable when you're in business. I just don't. I don't see it as excusable to throw up your hands and say, I'm not doing a Google search because that's too hard. You've got to rewind the clock and think, what was it like to be in business in 1990? No Google, basically no internet, no search engines. Things, we had BBS boards. We had very simple technology out there, right? You went to the library if you wanted to research something. And most of those libraries were still operating in like punch card systems. Remember the index card systems? You used to pull them out and there was the index cards you'd flip through to find a book. Very, very, very different era. And people still managed to found all kinds of businesses that were legions and just miles more technically complex than the stuff that we see today, especially in white label space. But people back then had self-reliance and self-motivation. It was a generally accepted truism that if you were going to go in business, you were on your own and you needed to do your homework, because if you failed, it was your fault, not someone else's. All fingers were pointed at you. And it was a very different mentality in that era, right? And it was like that really up until fairly modern times, right? I mean, even up into the ooze, that was kind of how it was. But what we're seeing now is a trend where people really are becoming, and maybe it's the smartphone effect, I don't know. They're becoming people who want to be bottle-fed information, especially people who are opening online businesses. I see it all the time. Maybe not especially them. Maybe it's not especially true, but it just seems that way because I'm a trainer in this space. And I see it so often. People will come and ask really basic, dumb questions. What is HTML? Well, you could type what is HTML in a search engine and hit enter and it'll tell you what it is, But a person will sit there and hammer a support system 10 times asking that question, getting frustrated and angry, when, literally spending more energy doing that than if they had just done a Google search. And I see this kind of stuff happening, not just here, it's actually not very prevalent at Rocket Driver. It's not very prevalent at our business. We don't see a lot of that at all. But you see it in general, in terms of people that are out there that are in this industry. You see it all the time and you hear about it a lot. And you see it in a lot of individuals. Self-help is the most crucial thing that you can develop as an entrepreneur. It is the number one most important attribute, trait, whatever you want to call it, for you to have. If you cannot problem solve, if you can't figure out and affect a strategy to solve a problem on your own without somebody telling you, you're not going to get anywhere, because there's not going to be somebody over your shoulder like a guardian angel guiding your, process, guiding you through the process of success. You've got to wake up every day with your own motivation and your own due diligence and your own intelligence guiding you in terms of what to do to make yourself money. And this is true at each and every step and stage of entrepreneurship. It's true in marketing, it's true in sales, it's true in project management, it's true in everything, even vendor selection, and so on and so forth. And so it's incredibly crucial that you cultivate this in yourself. If you're somebody that sees themselves slipping into this mentality that doesn't want to do basic work for themselves, doesn't want to do basic research, you really need to step back, blink your eyes, and just question, look in that mirror and say, hey, what am I doing here? What's changed? Why am I being like this? Because if you continue down that road of trying to leverage others to be your brain, you're never going to succeed. You have to cultivate your own self-independence, right? You have to do that. Anyhow, that's going to conclude this video. It's more of a rant, right? I just wanted to talk about this because I just see it as a huge trend that I'm noting all the time now in people in tech. And you see it all the time, particularly if you're in support forums and stuff like that and in self-help. You just see that people are not what they used to be in terms of figuring things out on their own. And it's really tragic. It's really, a shame to see this stuff. But it's something that, as a trend, I think it's probably going to get worse. I don't think it's going to get better. As things become easier and easier, people will always push the envelope of laziness into a realm of complete insanity. And hey, maybe that's the modern world. What do I know? Anyhow, if you like this video, you want to see more like it, go ahead, click the like button, sub to the channel. See you in the next one.